Hi everyone, welcome once again, and we'll continue to say Happy New Year until I don't know till for a couple of weeks now. We should be saying that because Robin was not here yesterday. So Happy New Year, Robin.
Thank you, Comfort. I've heard that we can actually say Happy New Year until the end of January, but I believe
No,
most people stop saying it around the middle of the month. So Happy New Year to you both, because I have not seen you yet in the new year. It's going to be an
exactly.
incredible 2024.
Yeah, thank you. Happy New Year. Hi, Collins. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to Robin Noble. Happy New Year to Comfort. And Happy New Year to all those who are watching. I believe 2024 will be a great year.
Indeed, it's going to
Yeah.
be the best. We're going to see more new tops and higher heights and everything. So let's look at what Mr. Mufari means when he says, if you are not on the success journey every day, then there is no guarantee you will get there. Robin, what's all that about?
Ooh, I think it's as much a journey of self introspection, self realization, searching to know who and where and what we are ourselves. I think we can listen to Ash as often as we can because we like the man, we like what he has to say. But I think a large part of all this time that we've been in Unpassive has been an equal journey of our own selves. And I think I'm going to step out on a limb here and say something, and it might be controversial, it might be upsetting to some, but I'm going to today separate Unpassive and our lives. I think it has been important, and I have learned so much about myself since I joined Unpassive. I've met a lot of wonderful people. I have discovered new things about life. I have understood new business descriptions and models and learned about the engineering portion of building a business. But I've also had to go deep within myself at times to question myself, to question my belief, to question my goals and my reasons for having joined Unpassive and for wanting to help others succeed as well. So Unpassive is a huge, huge aspect of many of our lives now. But it's also a business, and we mustn't forget that. It is a business. And we have been growing a culture of community within this business platform. But we cannot leave our lives out on the side and not pay attention to what's going on in our lives, because we still have families or friends, animals, parents, children, grandchildren, and they need us as well. We still have jobs, we still have bills to pay, we still have disabilities or other things going on in our lives that we need to handle and manage. And I think this is where, if we have focused so intently on Unpassive without paying attention to our responsibility and need to what we have to do in life, I think that is where some of the disenchantment, all the way up to anger within what has or has not happened in Unpassive, is being fueled by. So I think this is very, very timely that Ash has made these comments about looking at who we are and where we are in this process together, and separately, even more importantly, because it is the new year. And everybody starts to put their thoughts together. They start to visualize what they want for the year and that sort of thing. And I think so this is a very appropriate topic and timing for us to be doing this.
Yes, Robin, thank you for starting up on this note. Collins, when we started all this, Ash has been saying a lot. He says one thing and repeats it. Sometimes he says it using other words. People seem to never to get, like what Robin is saying is reminding me of something that Mike Ellis said a couple of days ago in a video I just found. He's asking this question. There's a difference between us hearing Ash and listening to him. So what do you want to say about what Robin is just saying, or what at all do you have in mind? Guys, join in and let's discuss this, even in the chat. Let's talk about ourselves today. I think that's where Robin's coming from. Robin, if I'm
Yeah.
wrong. Come on.
No, I really love the what Robin said. It is so true. You know, a lot of people really sometimes focus on the wrong thing, the wrong side of unpassive instead of the truth. You know, there are times that I've asked a lot of founders, affiliate, I said, how much do you know about unpassive? Don't tell me about somebody. Don't tell me about I heard this person say this. Just tell me how much. Look yourself in the mirror and tell me the truth. How much do you know about unpassive? None of them. Most people have asked that question. There's nothing they can tell me. But these are the people who attend webinars every day. You know, they watch YouTubes every day. They go to Madi shows, they go to this, lot of shows. But when they come out with zero information. Zero information. You know, we've reached that point where we need to ask ourselves, how much do you know? Because if you understand unpassive model, there is no reason you will not be excited. Yes, like Robin said, you don't need to leave your job. I shall never tell anybody, leave what you are doing. Like I always talk about myself. I said, I will continue on my job. The first day I watched my Ellis, he said, unpassive will gradually build you, you know, until you reach at that point where you can choose now to say, you know what, I'm making so much and I don't need my job anymore. So, and I hold that dear in my own heart. And I said, you know what? When I joined unpassive, I said, maybe it's a place where I can get something and then add it to my job, pay my bills. And then I will grow my business in a way where I can say, now I've reached that point where all the debt that I owe, I've cleared them. Everything that I know, that I'm so comfortable until at that point, I can say, now I don't need to work anymore. What is the point leaving your job at the end of the day? You start to rush back to look for a job. Because sometimes we live on the false premise is that unpassive will just do everything for you. It's the magic card. Yes, it will do it, but it is a business, as Robin said, it grows over time. You know, it can explode tomorrow. Nobody can tell. Even Mr. Ash Mofara cannot tell when unpassive will just go viral. Let us look, for instance, I want to give an example. Nokia, when Nokia phone was existing, it was the best telephone, analog and whatever phone you can call. 95% share of the market share. At that time, Apple came. Apple was just 2 point something. BlackBerry was there, all of those phones. Nokia refused to undergo digital transformation and drop. What happened? Touchscreen. Apple went in and transformed, brought touchscreen, captured the market. It took them ages. It took Apple 21 years to come up with the first Apple phone. They call it i2. We're talking about IT company. The history from 1976 to 2007. You know, more than a decade to come up with one phone. You can look at all the other IT company. They grow because the digital age gives them the space. But we are talking, we're not saying unpassive will take that long. But what we are telling you is, don't just sit back and then think a magic card. Tomorrow you start to blame Ash. Oh, it's Ash. It is this. Always follow the right information. Because there are good webinars out there, like Marty Digamo, Robin is here, you know, there are a lot of, you know, the bad thing is those who are giving the good information, they are few, but most of the founders don't listen to them. You know, most of the founders don't pay attention. Sometimes I ask myself, when I watch Madi, how many of the founders, that platform is supposed to be hitting at least, we are 1.4 million. That platform is supposed to be hitting 600,000. Madi and Chris read all of those platforms, Robin, Mike Ellis, Jeffrey Mollock. I can go, Michael Williams. Look at it. How many of them you go? It is just recycling of the same people, and very few are getting it. You know, people are missing the trick of unpassive. Even when Mr. Ash Mofara speaks, people come and say, I love you, I love you. Miss Ashbara don't need too much love. Listen to what he is saying. Everybody loves Mr. Ashmofara. They go there, listen, because when you get it, it's a game changer. You know, Comfort, I'll leave it there. So maybe you can take it.
Yeah, this is deep, guys, and this is that time we just want to spend time and discuss ourselves right now. This is what Janet is saying. I understand that this business is different. It's all done for you and myself. It's automated and everything. However, if it's yours, then you cannot say you don't have a thing to do. Even if you have your mansion and you have a cleaner and a cook and somebody, you still at some point sometimes want to go plug the kettle and boil the water for yourself. There is that thing to be done. And when you do that on behalf of Unpassive a day, just maybe go watch a short video like Janet is saying or something. That's how, when you count yourself proud that you own this. Robin, I don't want to take hostage of this. I just let you, I'm not asking questions today. So where do you want to go from what Collins has just said? Let's just discuss, guys. We want to see contributions in the chat. Let's leave Ash alone. Let's leave Unpassive alone and talk about ourselves. This journey started in 2018, depending when you joined. What have you been up to? What have you discovered about yourself and stuff? Robin, I hope I'm on track.
Absolutely, and we've taken off. Here we go. Collins has said it. He's hit the nail on the head right away. Listening and hearing. Now, in my industry of where I used to work, I traveled around the world, as many of you know. And the only reason why I bring this in is because with every different country that I visited, there was a slight accent or a beautiful lilt in how people spoke. We are in a global company here, and we've met people from all around the world. And so many of us have got little tweaks in our languages, the way we speak English. And we have to be, first of all, respectful. The fact that all of this is being done in English, when most people, for some people in the world, English is not the first language. But how many of us have even tried to speak another language, to say hello to a new ONPASSIVE friend in their language? All right? So there's the respect of listening. There's the respect of the different languages around the world. We're in 200 countries. Yes, we're quite, I'm going to say, arrogant sometimes in believing that English is the only way it happens. It doesn't. And some of my most interesting and meaningful conversations about topics that you would never think would be discussed with a nomad in the middle of the Sahara Desert, or up in the desert in China. I mean, I've had conversations through translators that blew me away. And I came out of them thinking, who do I think I am? That I have got the monopoly either on the words, the terminology, the way my mind has worked, and what I have learned. It is absolutely incredible. So listening. When you don't listen, when you don't hear properly, why not? Are you multitasking? Are you doing other things? Are you really paying attention? Because when you really listen to somebody, even with a very heavy accent, you can still hear the words that are being said. Sometimes the emphasis is on the different syllables. Sometimes there's a little bit more of a lilt. Sometimes there's just a very heavy accent. But I promise you, when you pay attention, when you focus on the words and at the task at hand, or the webinar that is actually going on and the way people are speaking, you find yourselves understanding more and more. And it's very simple. Are you too busy? Do you have other noises on at the same time, either with a webinar with Ash or with anybody else's webinar? Or are you taking that time, which can also be construed as personal time of improvement, by listening to a webinar? It's educational. You don't have to just see this as business being drummed into you all the time, and you've got to do this, and have you done this? What about the educational component of what we're getting through the discussions of the topic of the webinar? How many people go beyond that level of listening? It's beautiful and wonderful that we all want to say hello in the chats. Of course we do. We all want to be recognized. We all want to be seen. We all want to say hello to the world. You know what? The world sees us. The world knows us. And if you're on any webinar that's being recorded, the world knows you. So take the ego out of it now. I'm sorry, it's blatantly an ego situation. How many times can I say hello to somebody? How many times do I get hellos back? It's wonderful, it's beautiful, we're being polite. But there's also an ego level to this as well. So let's start focusing and paying attention and really listening when people are talking. And if there is a topic that one wants to continue on and bring forward even more so, then add that to a chat. Because just like in some of the groups, when everybody is saying hello and everybody is putting in their own 2 cents, which is lovely. But when you have a specifically business-focused group chat, for instance, people will not go in and spend the time to scroll up to see what the last messages of importance were. And then people don't focus and do things on their own, like doing their own research. Excuse me. Where do they go to find the link for this? How do they, come on, people. It's 5 years in now. Not everybody's been in for 5 years, but you've all been in for more than a year and a half. We should all know where to go and look for the links for something. We should all know that YouTube is available sometimes for the live, sometimes for the recordings. We're at the point now where we all know these things, or we should know these things. And if we don't, ask the questions, but you will get help. But make note of where you've done and found these things before, so that you're not asking the same questions over and over and over again. We need to be responsible now for ourselves. We need to know what is happening. This is a business. But more importantly, as a founder affiliate now, this is my business. This is your business.
Yeah.
And if you have one position, you have one business. If you have 10 positions, you've got 10 businesses. And if you've got over 100 positions, you have over 100 if you've got over 100 positions, you have over 100 businesses.
Businesses.
You have a responsibility. So don't turn it around now when we have to, when the greatest option and greatest gift that we're being given is to purchase OConnect for these businesses so that they become operational and that the key is in the lock and it's turned and we can now have that. All that Ash has said to us over these years that the company will do for us. And don't turn around and say, well, I've got 10 positions and I can't afford it now. Well, that's fine, but you chose to have those 10 positions. So now it's your decision. Do you choose to activate all of them? Do you choose to activate one and wait? But with your decisions, again, you will have repercussions and you will have other things happening because of those decisions. There's no right or wrong, but it's your choice and it's your decision. Comfort.
Right. Thank you. Thanks so much, Robin. I think a lot of things are coming to my mind. I'm just wondering if I'm part of this discussion, but since I'm here, so sometimes I just sit and think nothing but ask, how would Ash be feeling now? Because there are times you just think like it can be really difficult, facing these 200 countries or how many, and then how massive. Unpassive is massive. It's a giant. It's a beast. Anything big you can call Unpassive that. Like Collins was saying earlier on, we have seen these companies come and go. Like the other one, Colin was saying it was about more than 2 decades for it to finally get to where it is now. But Unpassive just started the other day, and here we are, talking about having a lot to show off for. The world knows us before we're out there in the world and stuff like that. Sometimes I'm like, it's not like it's a walk in the park. It's not sugar leaking. It's sometimes, if not all of the times, they go through thicks and things. They pass through spikes and stuff just to get us to where we say, oh my God, we've hit another top. But if you can't be bothered, would it be okay to use that time maybe for personal development? We have the blogs out there, Collins. I don't know if I'm still in line with this discussion.
Yeah, Comfort, you are really in line. I just like what Robin said. Robin said a lot of things, and my head was just spinning, and a lot of information just come into my head. Now, if you look at it, there is this slogan which a lot of founders, affiliates, they've just like misunderstood it. When they use the statement, it is all done for you. They misunderstood. The all done for you means they will build a platform for you. a platform that you can come in and succeed. You are not building anything. The company will build all of that. Yours is just to come in and participate. Let us look at it this way, Comfort. You are with your children in the house. Yeah. You prepare food. He said, don't worry, mommy will cook the food for you. Mommy will do everything. You prepare nice food, you put it on the table. You know, you cannot force them to eat. They have to make that decision to eat the food or not. So this is what we are saying every day. Mr. Ashmufara have put, a very powerful platform where success is just there at your door. But we have to make that decision to be either successful or not. If you want to be successful, you must get the right information, as Robin said. Information is the key. Listening is the key. When the CEO is speaking, when some of those who are really versed on past, like Robin here, they are here giving this information, because they want to give it. Robin can decide not to speak again. She will be so very, very successful because she knows the system. Maddie can say, I'm done with YouTube. Chris Johnson, let me call all of them, Michael Williams, most of these, Julie, they understand what ONPASSIVE will bring. But how many of us are taking that opportunity to learn from them? To learn from those who already know the system, who knows, and follow them. Because if you follow them, you'll be successful. If you refuse, success, though you are on that platform, yes, everybody is a founder. How can you be successful if you have not migrated? So success comes by doing something. Like Mr. Ash said, you cannot climb a ladder with your hands in your pocket. There are a lot of things. Ash gave a lot of examples. If God willing, God would have just made everybody to be successful. But he gave us the choice. So ONPASSIVE is a choice. You are either in and you win. When they say in it to win it, it's not about just saying it, but by doing it. Just saying, oh, I'm in it, so I will win. It's not a guarantee. You must do something to win. If somebody said, I'm giving you something, you must take that leap of faith, that step, walk to say, yes, where is it? I'm here now to collect it. What can I do? What is needed to collect this thing? So
Right.
exactly, yeah. So lot of founder, we just need to sit back, change our mindset. Most of the time when there is a webinar, corporate webinar, I'm always with my paper because I want to make sure I take everything down. Instead of sitting chatting, every word Mr. Ashmufara says, I will write it down. Then the next minute, I will go to the back office to read Jenny Butler, all of those, the updates. I will watch Red again for total breakdown. Go to Mike Ellis. So I just go straight to get more information to make sure what I've taken down is in line with what they are saying. So if all of us can do this 1.4 million, to be honest with you, there is no way we will not be successful. But when you sit, like Robin said, when information goes out, they break it down, from one step, everything's just changed. And then you come out with the wrong information. Because sometimes I've come out from a webinar, somebody says something and said, Mr. Ashmufara said this. I said, what? Was I on that webinar or not? Because he didn't say this. This is not what Mr. Ashmufara said. So I will leave it there, Comfort.
I know. I know. I just want to thank you, Mariana, for joining us today. So, Mariana says you should earn at least 3 times more with ONPASSIVE than with your present job before you fire your boss. It's what she's planning to do between vice. So it feels good even right now, although it may take some more months. Exactly. So, Robin, based on what Mariana is saying here, would you think like myself? I'm not sure that some people feel a bit disgruntled because they had sacked their boss a bit earlier or stopped doing what they're doing because they think that we're already there and stuff like that, or whatever you have in mind of. But then I think that sounds good too to me.
Absolutely. I think what Mariana has said is so accurate because, If you Google at any point or you listen to the business reports through the news channels, so many people are one paycheck away from financial challenges and in some cases ruin. So, let's create our own base. Let's make sure that we are, and again, Ash has said all of this to us. How many of us have actually done this? How many of us have been putting money aside? It didn't have to be on passive money at that point. It could be our own savings. It could be our own bit. And there are so many things at the beginning of the year that start off sometimes well, sometimes they don't even get started. But you put $1 aside, or you put $5 aside a week. Do it a week. Don't do it at the month. Or if you have an account, take it off. If you open a special savings account to do this type of exercise, make sure you take the money off at the beginning of the week, not at the end of the month. Because if you don't have it at the end of the month, you'll say, oh, well, I'll put it in next month. But if you take it off at the beginning of the month, you don't even miss it. You don't even know it's not there. But start with something that's manageable, maybe $20 a month, $10 a month if you can't do more than that. But do something that starts to look, all of this is about, first of all, being responsible, but also being in control for yourself. Do you want other people, businesses, companies, governments to be in charge of you and what you are and what you have? Now, I'm not going off on all kinds of theorists and right, left, middle sections, below, above, and all the rest of it. I'm just talking factually. I want to know what I have got to look after me. I know what I can do and what I have to be able to help and contribute to my sister's well-being. I can't do it financially right now, but to her mental well-being in terms of me being able to manage and cope for myself. So look and see what these things are. Don't be part of the broken telephone syndrome. Don't hear it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ways down the line after what's been said by anybody. Do your own research. Make sure that what you're hearing is accurate. Don't put your own spin on something. We don't have to exaggerate what Ash says. We don't have to exaggerate what ONPASSIVE is. We really shouldn't have to exaggerate to make ourselves feel any better, because if you believe in Ash and you believe in ONPASSIVE, then you already know what we've got and you should be feeling good. So these are the sort of things that one needs to be aware of. The other thing is, too, Ash is talking about getting involved and finding your own special traits. We all have them. We might not want to acknowledge them because we're embarrassed. We might think that it's been ego. Well, no, it's not. Do a list. Be factual about who you are. Do I really know who I am? I'm not going to keep putting it out there to everybody else. Do I know? I have a pretty good sense of who I am because I've gone through these exercises for years, long before ONPASSIVE, long before my accident. And it became a way of life and belief for who I am and how I chose to live my life. But we have got streaks and traits and beautiful, beautiful things. And we've also got some ugly and some not so nice things within all of us. But just look at it. You don't have to dwell on anything. Just be honest and just know who you are. Because just like we have our own individual special traits, so are snowflakes and raindrops unique. And each individual human being is a unique person. And we have something wonderful to contribute. Or we can also bring out our not so wonderful side and create enemies and create more challenges and stress for ourselves and those we love. This is going to go on. This is so exciting what we're talking about and how this is moving off from my perspective. Lots more to say, but I know Colin's comfort, we've got to share this space because this is exactly what we do. When you talk to people that you understand, like, have grown to know and love, it's not hard to talk about these things. It flows. It's not a difficult conversation to have.
Exactly. Yeah, so I'm appreciating all the powerful contributions from the chat too, guys. Let's talk about ourselves. I'm just happy reading what's coming up from there. But let's hear from Ash again too, as of last Wednesday. Everyone, I think Robin has been on this a lot, but sometimes I just read to emphasize. He says everyone has a different DNA and brain, and you are not going to be us. and no one is going to be you. And therefore, find your quality and be you, and then find your spot in unpassive. I think that's what Robin just said, Collins, but we cannot say enough of this. So if you have any other thing to comment on this, let's
So
keep on going round and round until somebody
honestly,
gets.
I really like, Robin brought it up, and I was just like, this is it. It's a very good topic. Everyone is unique in their own way. We don't, on past, I always said, I don't want to see two Robin. It will be boring.
Oh
Robin
no.
is just enough. It's enough. Chris Johnson is enough. Gina Liver is enough. Lynn, enough. Maddie Digamo, all of
There's
these
only
people.
one Robin, and so
Yeah,
I had to search for like for almost a year to finally lay hands on her. So we
yes,
need just one. So
yeah,
it must be you one. Sorry, Colin. Sorry.
yeah. Unpassive is really massive. And when you find your own little niche and you just unique, you just you, everybody will say it. I always give example. I talked to Oliver last time and the other guys. I said, remember, there was no trivia. Mino came out with trivia. So you can look at Unpassive. You said, what is really there that, a lot of people, what can I bring? Because I've seen this, I've seen that, I've seen this. What is there that I can bring in for others to come and enjoy? When you try to copycat, it becomes boring. You fake it. Everybody, you cannot hide because everybody knows you are faking it. You cannot speak from your heart. You need to do some slideshow, PowerPoint, and all of those things. But when you come out and you speak from your heart, you bring your own dynamics within the Unpassive platform because it is so massive. You know what will happen? You bring a lot of founders. You bring a lot of affiliates because they want to listen. Remember, we're getting to a point where the apple will start to flow. Founders will want to commune. They'll want to be in somewhere. If your platform is boring, they will never come there because what are they coming there? What are they coming there to do? But if it's something that they can gain just to relax, a relaxing atmosphere, not every time we want to talk about Unpassive, just come and relax. Founders will come in to relax. Then when they want to talk about Unpassive, they can go here. They know where to go. They want to talk about something. They go, it is just there. It is so big. And I'm really happy Robin brought this up and I said it. Find your niche. I cannot be Mr. Ash. If everybody is Mr. Ash, the world will be a boring place. There are places that you can just come and make people laugh. People just want to laugh because laughing is good. When they see you, everybody say, let me go there and just laugh my head out and go. We want things like this in Unpassive. Come, look for your own. Find your road. Put it there. And honestly, you blow up the place. Then we can talk about Unpassive as well. Because at the end of the day, Unpassive brought us together. But we want a place where we can, it is really huge. But let us try. I always say to myself, what else can I bring Unpassive? Now a lot of people knows about technology. What else can I do? I don't want to be talking every day about the technology. When it's time for technology, I can talk about it. But sometimes I want to shift out of technology and just be me. Me, the call is just my own way, my own unique way God created me. So I will leave it there. Let me just throw it back to you.
Right, sure. Thank you. Hi, Chris. Happy New Year. Thanks for liking me and Colin's hair. So Chris likes our hairs. So guys, listen, Robin, I know that you have a few stuff to stay in front of you, but I like it when my sister Vavina went back to this because Ash has been saying this for the third or fourth time now in his during his outings throughout the years. He says there's no way you can climb up a tree with your hands in your pocket. Can you just comment on this, please, in addition to whatever you want to say, Robin?
It's lovely. You have to do things. You cannot, if you go and stand somewhere and just stand, what's going to happen? People are going to walk around you. Most people will not stop and say hello. You're standing there. Maybe you're observing, but what are you actually doing just by standing there? So trying to climb a ladder with your hands in your pocket is going to be much more difficult. It can be done, But if you have two hands, why not use those two hands to hold the sides of the ladder to propel yourself up further? There are people who don't have it, and they go up the ladder faster than those who do have hands. But in this scenario, it's a case of it's what you know about yourself, it's what you think you can do, and it's what you can do and achieve. So take your hands out of your pockets, move around a little bit, say hello to somebody you've never said hello to, things like that. And when we say, how does Ash do it? This is Ash's life. Ash chose this life. Ash chose to do, create, and be on passive. So I'm now going to flip that question. How do you do it? How do we do it? How do we do our own lives? Are we happy with our lives? We know that Ash is. Ash is very happy with what he's doing. He knows that. He will be happier as soon as he knows that we're able to benefit and receive, because that is his ultimate goal for all of us. For us, in addition to building an incredible ecosystem to help through the educational platforms, through the humanitarian platforms, through connecting people around the world. So how do I do it? How do you do it? And how do you manage and live your life? Those are the questions to ask. Yes, we adore Ash. We respect him. We see what he's doing. And this is the other point too. This is Ash's business. He doesn't have to tell us everything that's going on. He spoiled us at the beginning, and he entrusted us with the knowledge of what he was creating and doing. And many abused that trust. Much of that was abused. Truthfully, legally, and for any other purpose and reason as well, Ash does not have to tell us what goes on behind the scenes. But if you pay attention to what he does say, there is a heck of a lot that is happening behind the scenes that we will all benefit from. And again, how fortunate are we? Do we need to know who has just signed up and who's just joined us? No, because for many people, that's going to be an ego splurge. It's going to be, who can be the first one to put a post together to say so-and-so's just joined us, or such and such is happening. We're tripping over ourselves to be the first to put information out because maybe we speak another language and we see it posted in another language. You know what? Step back, take a deep breath, and be patient. We will be told when Ash wants us to know these things. I don't speak Hindi, I don't speak Arabic, but I'm seeing a lot of posts about things that have been happening. You know what? Maybe Ash and the company wanted to tell us. Yes, they're putting it out because of the industries and the countries that they are in, and it is pertinent for them to know that now and to get excited. But I don't need to trip over myself to try and create this, recreate it, or find some other way to incorporate it into a post because I haven't been told by Ash. And it's not because I'm being gaga or taken over by Ash and the whole ONPASSIVE system. I'm also choosing to respect the rules. I'm also choosing to respect what we've been asked to do. And maybe my upbringing, maybe my background, maybe my career choices lead me to respect and stop and wait and be a bit more patient than maybe some other people. But that's me. With all my good, bad, and indifferent and foibles and positives, that's part of my chemistry. That's who I am.
Right.
I'd like to, sorry, please.
Sure. Oh, okay. Are you done for now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sure. I'm saying for now because we are still on it. Peter Rogers says everyone is different, but something in you will stand out. Just have to look and share. That's it. And I think that sounds the same, or it means the same like what Jean and Levi is saying. We are each a unique, colorful thread in a grand global tapestry or that's going to cover the world in beauty. I just love that. So, guys, we just want to hear what our friends and family are saying in the chat. Very sweet things. Babine says she completely agrees with the statement by Mr. Mufare that about putting on our own stamp on the product and make it our own. That's so sweet, isn't it? I'm just proudly ONPASSIVE. So, as early birds, we have known too much not to start the groundwork and knowing it. Thank you, family, for the great contributions. And I think that sometimes if you feel lost, then find yourself in Janet Butler's Top Fit Club and a few clubs here and there. That's something we need to encourage. So if you're already running a club on ONET, why not let us know in the chat and let's meet out there. It's helping, it's going a long way. So, Collins.
Yes, really great comment from Robin. Unpassive is just all. There are times that I always look at myself. I say, you know, which one should I choose? Is it the money part of it or the unpassive part of it? Without unpassive, there is no money. Without building all of these products, everything that Mr. Ashmufara is doing, there'll be no commission. So commission is earned by the completion of all the products and services the company is building. And to build this is not easy. Because it's not easy, we must exercise patience. Because patience is the key when it comes to all of this. We must be loyal to what Mr. Ashmufara is doing. We cannot say we love him without believing in what he is doing. It means our love is just like lip service.
Yeah.
So when you say you love Mr. Ashmufara, how much do you know about what he is doing? Though, like, I am happy that Robin said, Mr. Ashmufara spoiled us by giving us a lot of information. No corporate company will give you a lot of information like what Mr. Ashmufara have done. And I'm really glad that the company have taken that decision to stop, like, giving us what they want to give and the rest, keep it. At the end of the day, it is better for the company. It saved the company a great deal to keep most of those information and then give us only what they think is necessary. Because most of the founders, what would they do? At the end of the day, they'll put it out there. They said, don't snap your back office and put it out there. Don't snap your wallet. You see founders putting everything. What will happen when the apple will be dropping? You will see it everywhere on Facebook. And you will come back. The same people will come and say, I love you, Mr. Ash. I love you for destroying your company. It is really sad. And the earlier I always said myself, when I want to talk, I have to cross-examine myself. Can I ever destroy unpassive? What for? Why? If I believe in what Mr. Ashmufara is doing, I will never take a screenshot of everything and put it out there. Even to share with my own family. I said, no, if you want to see it, go to your back office. I can direct you where you can go and read it. And please don't take a screenshot because it is against, unpassive rule. We should remember that we sign compliance. We comply. We sign a document. And that document says what? The company is reserved the right to kick you if you go against. But a lot of founders never take note of that. So it is something that when we say we love somebody, we must stick to the rules. We must follow the rules because at the end of the day, we are hurting ourselves, not the company. Because what if Mr. Ashmufara, just that he is a very good man, just turn around and say, you know what, I want to go alone. I don't really need the founders. I can refund everything that they've given. Though the NGO will sign say 30 days money back guarantee, but I just want to give it. He can do it and then go with his company and become the world richest man. But it's just that Mr. Ashmufara is not that type of person because he says something. The only thing that can satisfy him is when he is uplifting humanity. Take out humanity part of it. He said, I will not be motivated building this company. So nothing can motivate Mr. Ashmufara except the part of building humanity, uplifting humanity, to build something that will change mankind. That is what Mr. Ashmufara is designed for. Sometimes when he said this thing, I really feel it in my heart. And I said, I just hope a lot of founders are hearing this. Someone is creating a platform for complete strangers, somebody you will never ever meet, but you are hurting the person indirectly, hurting the person, making the person paying a lot. Because if founders can only know what IT companies are going. When you do something wrong and somebody drag them to court, instead to take time to provide for us to continue building, what will happen? They are there now running after government, cases upon cases, court. We are distracting the company. At that time, the company is distracted, and then we are the one now to complain. Oh, it's taking time. How much have we bring the company? When the company move 10 steps forward, we bring the company 20 steps behind. So when we say we love this company, we just have to be mindful. We just have to follow everything, like Robin said, listen and follow. Don't do something that will hurt the company. So we can go out there and celebrate. Always keep, to the rules and regulation. Take your time. That's why I make the statement. How much do we know? Myself, how much do I know on part? Every day when I wake up, I ask myself, how much? Even the 1% I know is enough. I don't need to know everything. But the little that Mr. Ashmufara have given out, I'm so grateful for that. And that is what is keeping me going every day. And I just appreciate if other founders can learn that 1% like me. If we learn the 1%, I don't think ONPASSIVE will have any problem. We'll keep to the rules and regulation. We'll have a tight lips, and we'll tell everybody, go to your back office, read it, come and zip your mouth. Attend webinars. So Comfort, I will leave it there.
Yeah, Collins has said a lot, but I like the part of the little that Ash is telling us. That little is little compared to what unpassive is, because the little that we know from Ash is massive. I've never heard that anywhere. Nobody has ever shared with me. I've never, so it sounds little because it's being taken from something that's quite huge. So let's actually, like Colin says, consume and digest this little now, because there is quite more ahead of us. So Robin, if you can, please, why not use the opportunity now to crown everything for us? We give you all the time you need.
Thank you. Pour yourselves a good cup of tea.
You need a cup of tea.
I'm going to go back to what Collins was saying about the Apple and the 21 years to the first phone. It's so interesting that Apple is such a household name now with multiple products, and nobody really pays attention to how it got started because it just is. And eventually ONPASSIVE will be just is as well. But we are in the stage of learning what has been happening in those years behind the scenes, and not even all of it because of what Ash has done completely separate and has taken it upon himself because it's his business rather than putting it all on our shoulders, where thankfully we are not responsible for everything that he is doing. But I'd like to take it now to another example of putting it into our own life and way of doing things. Somebody buys a store, let's say a Costco store, a very large grocery department store, and suddenly you see it opening. Yay, we have a new store in the area. Does anybody really ever think about the steps that it takes to get to that store opening? You've got the legal, you've got the real estate, you've got to find the property first of all, you've got the contracts to sign, the terms of the contracts, how long you're going to have that property in the store. What about all the searching and the checking of what types of companies you want to have of products in the stores, the costs, the banks, everything that gets set up for all of these sort of things to get to the day when the opening ribbon is cut or the door flies open. So this is the stage that we're at within ONPASSIVE right now. We've got the properties, we've got the real estate, we've got the contract signed. And remember, the store example is in one city or one borough of one city. Now you take that into a province or a state or a country. How many more stores are being opened? What about on the continent? How many more stores are being opened? That's the magnitude that we sometimes forget or lose sight of with ONPASSIVE, because everybody is so focused and so narrowly watching OConnect. And OConnect is wonderful. It has multiple uses, multiple platforms. It is being used for multiple different things. but it's not the only one, as we've been told. But people forget that or don't believe it. I don't want to say what people do and don't, but this is the perception of what we see through comments that get made all the time. The other thing too is a farmer. How do you grow the produce to sell it somewhere? You've got to work the farmland. You've got to plant the seed. You've got to make sure that the manure is in there. You've got to make sure that it gets toiled and it gets turned over and it's seasonal. And you've got to rotate the crops and all the rest of it. Then you've got to harvest it all. You've got to employ the people to do it. Does the machinery work? You can take a look at this analogy in any line of business that you are in individually. And that is just the parts that you know about. If you're not in upper management or if you're not the owner of it, there's a whole other 10, 20, 30 binders full of things that have occurred to get you to that point. They also have training manuals. They also have educational days. They also have times whereby you have to sit and talk to a colleague. All of this is part of what goes on to build a business. Now, Ash and the teams are doing all of that. But you know what? Are you as a founder affiliate, are you talking to any friends that you brought in? Are you having private conversations with any of your own founders? Small groups. Have you had any of those conversations? Have you thrown around the topics and the subjects and the possibilities of what ONPASSIVE is, what it can be? Rightly or wrongly at this particular moment, but have you had those types of fun or interesting or inquisitive types of conversations with people? You don't have to wait to be invited onto Marty and Chris, Comfort and Collins, any of the other webinars to put this forward. You don't have to create anything big to do any of this. Are you having on your phone, are you inviting 2 or 3 people to have a group call? Do people really know what's going on? That's one way of helping people learn about all of this and to understand it. That's the watering of the seeds to help people to know that it's going to germinate and flower, and then you'll be able to pick them, and then they'll be in your home, and they'll be beautiful. But these are all the steps that need to be taken. You can do it on your own, but then you're pretty much like the person trying to climb the ladder with your hands in the pocket. Why not step out? And the people that you told about ONPASSIVE, the people that you've become friendly with in Obinu, on the trivia, call them up and say, hey, let's have a chat about ONPASSIVE. If you're that focused about ONPASSIVE, then why aren't you doing that in addition to living your life? Instead of finding total social engagement with the hellos in a webinar. Because ONPASSIVE is so much more, you are so much more, and life is so much more. You just have to do it. So what can I do? What are some of the things that I can do to increase my own vibrations, to add to all of this in my own life? Do a daily gratitude journal, or write down 10 things, 5 things, 2 things that you're grateful for in your own life every day. Do that at the end of the day. Say thank you to whomever you believe in for the day that you've had. Say thank you when you wake up and set the tone of how you would like your day to be. How many people actually wake up and go, gee, I really hope that I have a rotten, terrible, miserable day? I don't think that's anybody's intention. But how about making a positive start about how to actually make it start to happen? It takes 21 days, 28 days, 35 days, depending on which guru you listen to set an intention into a habit. It's the beginning of 2024. We can do so many things. Why not start something as simple as that? Why not start something as simple as putting $5 aside in an envelope every month and see how much we have at Christmas or for your favorite person's birthday? And you don't have to go to a bank account. You've got it there. You've already saved it. You already got it. What about a daily list of what I would like for me and what I would like for my family and what I would like to do for others? I can almost guarantee that list is going to change, if not every day, every few days. the order in which you want to do something, and maybe knock some of those things off the list because it's no longer the same importance as it had when maybe we were only focused on the money side of it, or we were only focused on owning that Chanel purse. Of course, for somebody who's never had one of those things, that might be on their list, but it might go from number 1 to number 100 to be able to still accomplish and still have when the apples and the commissions flow through ONPASSIVE. So start to see, and all of this will help one to understand who we are, what we are fundamentally. The other thing too is we are all different, and yet there are kernels within each one of us that resonate enough, that drew us together, that drew us to Ash, that drew us to ONPASSIVE, that drew us to Comfort and Collins, that drew us to Chris and Marty, that drew us to, tell our best friend about ONPASSIVE. There are similarities in ourselves. We can be whatever we want to be, and whatever we want to be is right for us in that moment. If we want to make changes, the changes are possible. If we want to stay where we are and as we are, that's fine too. But the world will continue to revolve. The time will continue to pass, whether or not you are an active participant or whether you choose to sit and wait for life to happen to you and for you. This August, or this end of July, I'm celebrating 20 years of being alive after the accident that turned me into a disabled person and living with disabilities. Some people say, well, why are you celebrating? Well, I'm not celebrating it yet, that's for sure. I've still got many months to get to that point, and I've still got many more pains and thoughts and energies to work through because of all the things that it did in my life as well as what it did in my family's life. But I also made choices, and some of those choices stuck and have stayed with me all the way through it, and some of those times I still grab a box of tissues. I wish I'd taken out Kleenex stocks years ago. I'm a wet sponge. Everybody who knows me knows that. I'll cry when I'm happy. I'll cry when I'm sad. I'll cry when I'm just frustrated. I'll cry when I'm in a lot of pain. But sometimes those tears are less and less, and sometimes I'm actually getting a bit of a backbone, which shocks people who have always known me to be the emotional one or the one who was quick to jump in with a solution. I'm not doing that as much anymore because I realized that I also enabled situations and enabled people to stay stuck because that's where they wanted to be. And I wanted to fix it, and I couldn't. So I can no longer afford personally to use energy on other people who don't want to do anything for themselves. So I'm learning to rein that in. It's hard. It's a lesson. But ONPASSIVE has given me so much more than a voice and a platform to be able to talk. It's also taught me who wants to be helped, who's happy to be where they're at, who wants change, who wants to move forward, who believes, who doesn't. Sorry, guys, I know I'm talking a great deal today, but this is a topic that we've talked about behind the scenes with other founders for quite a while, and it's so beautiful and grateful to be able to come and talk to you and take it to another level again of hopefully discussions for other people and other people to contemplate and just take a look at for themselves as well as for ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE is absolutely amazing. And I've been in it since the moment I heard what was going to be happening. I have believed. I haven't always understood it, but through the likes of you, Collins, and the OTEC teams and other conversations with people and other things, and truthfully, some little courses that I took to further advance my own understanding of database or Microsoft Word or spreadsheets or these sort of things. I mean, people take responsibility. We've had all this time, and frankly, I think we still have some time before a lot of things are going to happen. There are free videos online in YouTube, TED Talks, my sister told me about again last night. There is free opportunities out there. We can do what we want to do. And very shortly, we're going to have a platform that we're going to be able to share other businesses in. So don't abuse and lose your momentum in what you've done in OnPassive by bringing forward a suddenly brand new company that you want to share with everybody that you did not know before you joined OnPassive in, and you're going to ruin your chances of getting really, really good support when those platforms open up the right way to share and do things with people. So I thank you again, Comfort, for inviting me. I love coming in here with you. You're just amazing. Collins, I've wanted to be with you and be able to talk with you for so long, and I've just enjoyed this so much. And I thank you, everybody who's listening now and who will be listening to this in the future. These are my thoughts. These are my feelings about a lot of all of this, my interpretation, and it's how I feel, but it is from the heart. So I wish everybody such a magnificent 2024. And I look forward to, as I say many, many times, to meeting everybody in person when that is possible as well. Take good care. Comfort, thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Robin. We really appreciate you, appreciate your time to be able to join us anytime we call. And of course, Collins, thanks, bro, for always being there. Guys, we appreciate all the comments that you've put together. I think this is going to go a long way. So if it's possible, why not share? Because somebody needs to listen to this. And somebody needs to read what you have written there. I think we've had a wonderful time together. Thank you so much and see you again soon, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.